Imagine being bitten by a spider, and knowing that within minutes, its venom could begin attacking your nervous system. Your muscles could start twitching. Your breathing could become difficult. And without effective treatment, the bite could potentially become fatal. For decades, this was the terrifying reality of Australia's Sydney funnel web spider. But then something extraordinary happened. Scientists discovered a way to fight the spider's venom. And one of the most important animals in that story wasn't another spider. It wasn't a snake. It wasn't even a human. It was a rabbit. So how did a rabbit help save humans from one of Australia's deadliest spiders? This is the remarkable story of venom, immunity, science, and an unexpected hero. The spider that terrified Australia. The Sydney funnel web spider became one of Australia's most feared animals during the 20th century. Its venom contains powerful neurotoxic components capable of severely disrupting the human nervous system. And the danger wasn't simply that these spiders existed. Male funnel web spiders leave their burrows while searching for females. That wandering behavior could bring them into close contact with humans. Sometimes, funnel web spiders could turn up around houses and gardens. And a bite could become a medical emergency. Between 1927 and 1980, 13 human deaths were officially recorded from funnel web spider bites. For decades, doctors had no specific antivenom that could reliably neutralize the venom. They could provide emergency medical care and try to keep victims alive. But what they desperately needed was a way to directly fight the venom. An antivenom. And creating one was much harder than anyone expected. Why was the venom so difficult? The basic principle behind antivenom is fascinating. An animal is exposed to carefully controlled amounts of venom. Its immune system recognizes the venom as something foreign. It produces antibodies against it. Scientists can then collect those antibodies, purify them, and turn them into a medical treatment. Simple in theory, extremely difficult in practice. Funnel web venom contains multiple components, and researchers faced major challenges collecting, studying, isolating, and stabilizing the important toxins. For years, researchers tried different approaches, but an effective funnel web antivenom remained out of reach. Then, near the end of the 1970s, two tragedies changed the urgency of the search. Two deaths that changed everything. In January 1979, a 32-year-old woman named Christine Sturges died after being bitten by a funnel web spider. The tragedy deeply affected Australian immunologist Dr. Struan Sutherland, who was working at the Commonwealth Serum Laboratories. Then came another devastating case. In January 1980, a 2-year-old boy named James Cully was bitten. 3 days later, he died. He became the 13th recorded human victim in the period before the new antivenom. For Sutherland, these deaths were not just statistics. They represented a problem that had to be solved. The question was no longer simply, can we make an antivenom? It was, how quickly can we make one before another person dies? The secret was inside the immune system. To understand what happened next, we need to understand one of nature's most powerful defense systems, the immune system. When an animal encounters a foreign substance, its immune system can produce specialized proteins called antibodies. These antibodies can recognize specific molecules. Imagine the venom as thousands of tiny molecular keys. The right antibody can act like a biological lock designed to recognize one of those keys. If scientists could produce enough antibodies against the dangerous components of funnel web venom, they could potentially use those antibodies to protect someone who had been bitten. But there was a problem. Humans obviously couldn't be deliberately exposed to dangerous venom simply to produce antibodies. Scientists needed another animal. And this is where the rabbit entered the story. Why a rabbit? Rabbits turned out to be remarkably useful for producing antibodies against funnel web venom. Compared with humans, rabbits are much less susceptible to the lethal effects of funnel web venom. That gave researchers something incredibly valuable. A living immune system capable of responding to the venom without the same level of danger faced by a human. The process was carefully controlled. Tiny amounts of venom could be introduced gradually. The rabbit's immune system would recognize the venom as foreign. And over time, it would begin producing antibodies against it. The rabbit wasn't simply becoming immune in a magical sense. Its immune system was learning what the venom looked like, learning which molecules to target, and producing biological weapons specifically designed to recognize them. But where would the venom come from? Milking the deadly spider. Collecting funnel web venom is a dangerous job. Australia eventually developed specialized programs to collect these spiders and obtain their venom for antivenom production. One of the best-known programs operates at the Australian Reptile Park. Members of the public can safely hand over funnel web spiders instead of killing them. Those spiders can then become part of a program that ultimately helps produce life-saving medicine. The spiders are handled by trained professionals. Their venom is carefully collected under controlled conditions. And every tiny amount matters. Because this isn't ordinary venom. This is the raw material needed to stimulate the immune system of the rabbit. The deadly weapon of the spider is about to become the training material for another animal's immune system. 6 months of immune training. The rabbits are not simply given a large dose of venom. That would obviously be dangerous. Instead, the exposure is carefully controlled. Tiny doses are introduced, then gradually increased over time. The process can take around 6 months. With each controlled exposure, the rabbit's immune system responds. It produces more antibodies against the venom. Eventually, the rabbit can tolerate levels of venom that would be extraordinarily dangerous to a human. And now something extraordinary exists inside the rabbit's blood. Antibodies specifically trained by nature to recognize funnel web venom. But the rabbit itself isn't the medicine. The antibodies are. Turning rabbit immunity into medicine. Blood is collected from the rabbit and processed. The blood contains many different components. Scientists use separation and purification techniques to isolate the useful antibodies from the serum. These antibodies are then processed into a medical product under strict quality controls. The result is funnel web antivenom. It doesn't work by making the patient stronger. It doesn't make the spider's venom disappear instantly. Instead, the antibodies can bind to venom components and help neutralize their harmful effects. The rabbit's immune response has essentially been transformed into a medical tool. But there was still one question. Would it actually save a human life? The moment of truth. January 1981. A 49-year-old Sydney man named Gordon Wheatley was bitten by a funnel web spider. His condition became severe. The nervous system effects of the venom were becoming increasingly dangerous. And doctors now had something that had never existed before. A new funnel web antivenom. This was the moment when years of research had to prove itself. The antivenom was administered. And Wheatley recovered. The treatment had passed its most important test. It had worked where it mattered most. In a human being. The amazing aftermath. The development of funnel web antivenom transformed the outlook for people bitten by these spiders. Before the antivenom, funnel web bites had caused multiple human deaths. After its introduction in 1981, no human fatalities from Australian funnel web spider bites have been recorded, according to the Australian Museum. The spiders didn't become less dangerous. Their venom didn't become weaker. Evolution didn't suddenly change. What changed was our ability to fight the venom. And that ability came from understanding nature. The rabbit didn't fight the spider. So, did a rabbit really save a human from a funnel web spider? Not in the way you might imagine. The rabbit never attacked the spider. It never chased it away. It never rescued Gordon Wheatley. Instead, something far more fascinating happened. The spider produced the venom. Scientists collected it. The rabbit's immune system learned to recognize it. The rabbit produced antibodies. Scientists isolated and purified those antibodies. And those antibodies became part of a treatment that could save a person suffering from funnel web envenomation. The rabbit was essentially a biological antibody factory. So, the next time you see a rabbit quietly sitting in the grass, remember, it may have helped save lives from one of Australia's deadliest spiders. Take a moment and say thank you, little one.